Ralitza, hello, can you hear me?
Hello.
Hello, welcome again. So it's good to see you, as if you were here.
Yes.
Yes. So we've already had our workshop with Andreas with a kind of an editing point of view and detailed onto artistic scenography and references, connotations and symbols, which is interesting. We are now open to see your workshop. Thank you for being with us. The floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Maria. Thank you, Karpus, for the invitation to present a part of our work. My English is far from perfect, so if you have any doubts about something that I'm saying, especially for the translation, just please ask me, and I will try to, try to make it understandable. I would just would like before to go into the cinema questions deeply, I would like to make just a short presentation of CinEd program. So I was talking about CinEd is a European cooperation project co-funded by Creative Europe Media Program, and it's conceived both for teachers and their students. So it's a digital platform that is proposing a collection of European films selected for a young audience, proposing also pedagogical materials for each film, both for students and for teachers, and as well trainings and activities with young people. CNET is dedicated to the transmission of the seven art as object, and cultural object and material to help conceive the world. In order to accomplish this, common teaching methods were developed based on a selection of films produced by the European partners of the project. The approach that we used is designed to be adapted to our time, characterized, as you know, all by fast, major, and continuous change in the way we see, receive, broadcast, and produce images. These images are seen on multiply different screens, from the biggest screens in cinema to TV, computer, tablet, and the smallest smartphones. We in CNET, we try to propose screenings and activities in the good conditions, on big screen, in cinema hall when it's possible, or in libraries, youth centers, and of course in the classroom. What is also great about the program, and I start often screening or activity like this, CNET is also creating a community through the borders, so that the kids from a small village in Bulgaria are watching the same film as children from a big a school in Prague or in Lisbon or elsewhere in Europe. So the exchange of films is also exchange of culture, of language, and of course of knowledge. Together, that was the really short presentation, and I will send you the two links for the platform and website of CNET later so that you can check them. Together we will watch and discuss two extracts from two short films. It is a program that we conceived for the age group starting from 6 years, and we already did screenings with all possible ages, and the films are very, very well received all over Europe. So the two films are French. Rentrée de classe, the first one, Back to School. This is the English translation by Jacques Rosier, and Petite Lumière, or A Little Light, by Alain Gomis. With a gap of 50 years and a distance of 3,000 miles, two filmmakers to look into their childhood. Before to start, I would like to share with you just one quote by Alain Gomis, so the director of Little Light, who says, "I have a very strong memory. One day at school, we watched Uzu's Children of Tokyo, and it was a defining encounter. It was extraordinary to see how similar I was to these two kids from so far away. Japan in the 30s in black and white. I met and understood the two characters, and during the film we became closer than I was with my neighbor. Cinema has this power to contest and displace territories considered stationary and concrete." So before to start with the extracts, I would like you to show you two shots from the film. I will just share my screen. So these two shots are from Back to School and from A Little Light. So I was just proposing a little game. As usual, I do, as you can see here, with this Papios students before the screenings. Think these two shots. Where do you think the action is taking place, and what do you imagine about the characters? So I propose now to, after seeing these two shots, to see the two extracts. And while watching, please pay attention to what you see in terms of light, point of view, characters, shots, position of the camera, also some sound as well. So we have one proposal in the chat. The boy could be in his summer holidays in some North European country, probably the vast hands of Russia or Poland. It is a great suggestion. Thank you. Okay, let's see where it is, if we can guess, because it's not obvious, probably. So I let you screen the two extracts. Okay. So I hope you enjoyed these two extracts, and they gave you a desire to see the whole film. After seeing the extracts, I would like to ask you, and it would be great if we can discuss which do you think are the main topics that you can spot. It could be cinema topics or other, probably more philosophical. It could be something that you have seen in both extracts and you think it's a common topic, or it could be also an opposition. So I will repeat, which do you think are the main topics that you can spot? Could be cinema related or other, and something that you have seen in both extracts. It is common about the two films. I will suggest, while you are thinking, I will suggest one topic that is crucial for the two films. It's shown in the relation between shown and hidden. So this topic is very old and very popular in cinema language, and there are very good resources in English on the website of the program Cinéma Santon de Jeunesse. Is a program of the French Cinémathèque, and I can send it also later in the chat. They could be really useful. So both films, both extracts that you saw, but both films in different ways deal with this tension between what is shown and what is hidden. We see in Back to School several elements related to the issue of showing and hiding. And René, that's the name of the character from the first extract, is escaping in this bucolic and sensory place, and it's clearly a way of replacing an unsatisfying reality, which is the school, because the extract is situated just after he decided not to go in the classroom during the first day. So escaping, he finds himself with another world where he is drawn into an aquatic, enchanting natural environment. He's literally returning from another world after his ramble. He reappears, and just after the extract that you have seen, through an unusual place, the stream that ends up in a wash house where he surprises a woman who is working there. We can consider also that this tension between what is shown and what is hidden is a center of gravity in A Little Light in the second extract. Langumis' staging is guided by Fatima, that's the name of the little girl, the character of the little girl, by Fatima's powerful imagination. She has a gaze that can often be compared to a camera taking pictures. When she puts on a sheet with a hole in it, she becomes a device that frames a fragment of the world that later being more hidden than shown through the camera frame. Fatima's disguise also reminds one of the cameras with billows where the photographer protected himself from the light by hiding his head under a thick cloth. So I don't know if there are some proposals for other topics or discussions that we can discuss. I see one that is about children that who are curious to discover things and they are named as crazy from their parents. And it's true that's a very interesting topic opposing adults and children, and it's very we can see this tension why children are often alone and in their own world. Adults sometimes enter the scene in both films, and some of the adults are considered as or shown as allies, but others represent our order and want to bring the characters back to reality and reason. That's the case with the little Rene talking with the lady on the bridge, and Fatima talking with her mother or someone from or other members of her family. So yeah, both characters are captured in fields of tension that they experience and confront with their childlike tactics. So it's a very good topic. Another topic that I would like to mention, and I think it's very important, it's gaze and points of view. So among the methods used to immerse the spectator in childhood, the gaze is largely called upon in both films, with René and Fatima experiencing a world that we perceive several times through their gaze, and through their point of view we get as close as possible to their relationship with the world around them. And this is also related to another topic that is important in my own. It's imagination and dreamscape. So Fatima and Rene have a very particular relationship with reality. In a way, they intend to subject reality to their will and imagination. So the characters escape through imagination and convey their desire for subversion and creating their own reality. So both of them experience more or less brutal returns to order. You haven't seen the one of Renee, but you saw this of Fatima with her mother slapping her. So yes, I don't know if there are any suggestions, or I continue to point out some topics that seems important to me.
I would have a question until maybe some more come around. I see that the René film is the journey is actually real. We see the child walking, going through a landscape, while in the girl's case, I think the journey is produced through editing short scenes and sequences. So it's it's not really, it's quite fragmented and destructured. So it's a different kind of journey. We get into and out of her imagination, into and out of her different relatives or relations that she has. So I found there was a distinctive difference in the approach of this effort of the children to fly away or to find their own way around.
Yes, definitely. The approach of the two directors are different, and they are linked, as you told, by this desire to escape and desire to molding reality to their wishes. And it's afterwards it's different way to show it. And I think also what is important to point out is that the films, both films are based also on senses and perceptions. So there is sensory experience that are fully participate in the initiations lived by children. As you thought in René's case, this is really bucolic, and the river, the possibility to be in the nature are some senses, and with Fatima is more the desire of this dream, the mountain, about the coast, about the ice. So, but I also another thing that it's important in both, I think, is hearing. Hearing play an important role, and the filmmakers created their film to convey also this perception, both in the extract that you saw in the Back to School with all the sounds of the natures, also with the motif, the music from Mozart, the magic flute, and with Fatima, with the extract in The Little Light, it was more sound. It was more recreating this sound that would show us her reality and her imagination. So these perceptions are quite important, and also touch is evoked, light and water on skin, hot, and all this bring about the character sensitivity, I think. So there is a comment in the chat that the difference maybe has to do with the different time in which things happen. There is a time distance, of course. Yeah, definitely there is a time distance. There is also geographical distance. So the first one is the first scene was shot in France during the 50s in south of France, in the Provence, and the second is shot in Senegal, so in Africa in 2006. So definitely, but I really find what is so interesting about the two shorts, that they're so linked about the characters, and this is something that kids immediately see when they see the two shorts. They're immediately capable to point out all these points important that are linking the two characters.
Hi, Relita. There's also another question in the comment section. Can you see it?
Yes, the remark from Mark Reed.
Yes.
Yes. So he's saying, I wonder if this approach leads us to think, oh, children's lives are so similar despite their cultural place, or all children's lives are so different depending on where they come from. How can we ever have a common agenda? Yeah, I think I don't know if someone wants to also to answer. Feel free. From my experience, and I will show you some photos afterwards. These two films are working everywhere. Really, I show them in any different context, from the small village to the big city, and I think. Often kids are eager to think that they're quite similar with these characters, and everyone is starting to find more this resembles with them, and these examples of their life, and especially the little ones are using the medium of the films of the characters to talk about their own experience that could be really close, in fact, to this internal imaginary worlds of two of them. So I don't have Mark, I don't have the answer, but I think it was a comment for more free analysis and discussion. I have one more question for the audience, if I can ask it now, so you can think. So, do the characters? Well, we taught many of the things, but still, do the characters have anything in common? And probably more, the second question: what role do adults play in the two extracts? And how do they appear? We talked already about this fields of tension between adults and kids. And here I would like to share my screen again and to show you this this shot. Is there anyone that would like to comment on this shot, that would like to describe it? It could be anything about the composition, what we see in the center, what we see in the top, in the bottom, how it's created.
Αυτό που μου κάνει πάρα πολύ εντύπωση από τη συγκεκριμένη σκηνή είναι η διαφορά κλίμακας στην οποία βρίσκεται το παιδί και ο ενήλικας. Ουσιαστικά ο μεγάλος είναι το παιδί. Ο ενήλικας έχει εκμηδενιστεί μπροστά στο παιδί το οποίο έχει αφήσει ελεύθερο τον εαυτό του, χρησιμοποιεί τη φαντασία του, έρχεται κοντά στη φύση, ο ενήλικας θαυμάζει, διασκεδάζει. Δεν έχει βάλει ακόμα αυτά τα ασφυκτικά όρια του, χρησιμοποιεί τη φαντασία που ενδεχομένως βάζουν κοντά στη φύση, θαυμάζει, διασκεδάζει. Δεν έχει βάλει ακόμα αυτά τα ασφυκτικά όρια του καθοσπρεπισμού που ενδεχομένως βάζουν οι μεγάλοι.
Yes, thank you. This is, I don't know if there are any more comments and I will comment afterwards, or I can start now. But what you said is exactly what we all, the impression that this shot creates. So from behind, the silhouette of the little boy occupies a central place, and it's accentuated by this shot, by this position of the camera. So we see from the bottom to the top, and the bridge cuts through the frame horizontally. So the old woman is a trivial lost point in the image, contrasting with the boy's imposing stature, as you thought. She's just a little point over there. And this image synthesizes many challenges of Back to School, of this short, magnificent film of Jacques Rosier, especially in its way to organize the meetings and the confrontation between the order of the adults and the world of René. So the composition conveys its own meaning, creating discourse, creating already this own language of the film and of the shot. And first, the camera joins René in the river, so the camera accompanies him, while the old woman is kept in a distance. She is kind of banished, far away point. And this act is also significant, since this low, what we call angle shot, so the camera is over there and looking on the top, and that gives René confidence to face this adult present and to answer to the old lady. So finally, the frame captures the bridge as a barrier, symbolically colliding with the schoolboy face and underlining this dimensional conflict. And this is a very special shot, because each time that we ask to the children to recreate a shot or recreate a story that was important for them in the film, they always use this bridge. Now, this position, it's very impressive for them to see this position of the little boy and the bridge and the lady. So this is something that is coming very very often. Okay, I will show just these shots from Little Light. I don't know if you would like to comment on them. I just wanted to mention how important is also sound here, as we taught in the beginning. It's sound it's what makes the ice flow appear, and it's a walk on a stretch of earth, and it's then turns into a journey. For this little girl. So in the first shot, we see her movement, and in the second shot, we see. So yeah, in the first shot, she mimics like an ice skater gliding on the sand. And the second shot is zoomed in, and it doesn't show her feet, creating the illusion that she really is skating on ice. And yeah, I think this is also something pointed out each time during screenings from the children, because they're really impressed by all this movement of the camera that is following little Fatima skiing or imagining skiing. But yeah, it's interesting. And just wanted also to share with you something about the child actor, because it's interesting also to think about. On the third photo, you can see Alain Gomis with Fatima. So on the shot, so Alain Gomis says, the casting process wasn't very organized. I was looking for a little girl with character. I asked around. Asifo, the name of Fatima, came with a girl auditioning for the role, and as it happens sometimes, the person going through the lines with the actor is one that gets the part. She had an insolent quality, a way of confronting adults, challenging them. What's more, she put up a fight when we were filming because she didn't want to walk in the show, saying it was stupid because we weren't on an ice floor. I told her, in that case, I will have to go with another actress. She replied, okay, fine. Asi had noticed that the world was revolving around her, that she was in power. To try and solve the problem, I told her, honestly, I need you. She said, well, in that case, I will do it. So this is just a small something that I'm also using during activities with the films. I will just want to a commentary that we have on the chat. So if we do play the videos without sound, could be this interesting so as children can improvise the dialogue. The child walks in the stream of life while the adult stays away from it and just give advice not to test things. Fatima moves, dances, feels free. The adult tries to catch her and get her back to reality. Yes, of course, this is a good exercise to improvise the dialogues. Also, another good exercise that I use a lot, we use a lot in our work, is before the screening, instead of showing the shots that I've shown you, listen to just small parts of only the sound, small parts from the from the film, but only using the sound, not the image. And so imagining just through the sound what is happening in the film, what kind of film it will be, what kind of story it will be. This is also very good exercise because it opens so much the imagination before the screening, and it's good always to introduce the film with something different, but with the exercise with the dialogues could be something probably after the screening, recreate some dialogues in their own way.
I think it was very nice idea to compare the two children's stories. So just because we've been here since the morning and people are in and out on their screens, I think I would like to keep and respect the end line of the seminar. Ralitza, we will have the chance to discuss all the workshops tomorrow afternoon, I remind you, and we have a small panel of experts which will reflect on all the workshops, so we will have you back then as well, and they will take their time to think and reflect on all the 5 workshops.